Hi guys, so in preparation for our next upcoming show, I decided to make a hydration box filled with Morphos. And there's 3 different species of Morphos that I'm going to be spreading to meet the requirements for the show that's coming up in 4 weeks from now in Red Deer. So this video showcases my process over a couple of days. First, I'm spreading the specimens, and then I'm going to be allowing them to dry for a couple of days. And once they're fully dried, then I'll be taking the pins off, and they'll be ready for placement on the matting. So this step is the hardest step, clearly by far, because trying to get the butterflies in symmetrical shape without any damage to the wings is requiring a pretty high degree of skill. I've sped up the video to twice as fast as I normally do it, so that way it gives you an idea of the work that's involved. This first specimen that I'm spreading is Morpho telemachus, and it's from central Peru. It's a specimen that I've actually caught myself. It flies in the undergrowth in the rainforest, so it's relatively easy to find, and I don't have to lure them from high above to bring them to me. I actually wave a light-colored flag, and the males would just come right to it. Whereas the next specimen, which is Morphodidius, these guys are high flyers, and in order to get them, I have to use a blue flag and get the males to see my flag, and they think that it's one of them, and so they descend down to go to war with the flag that they think is another male, and that's how I'm able to snag them. I use nets for both of these species, and it's very challenging to get them in perfect shape because they often have already gone through their battles with other males. And when I manage to find some that are in perfect shape, then I will keep them, and the ones that are totally damaged I release. And so here I've got some specimens that I've collected over the years, and these ones here are in excellent shape. And if you'll notice closely, I removed the abdomens on both of them, and that's because as a larva they feed on a plant that's quite oily, and I want to make sure that those oils will never seep onto the wings after death, because some people's houses, they get to be quite warm during the summer months, and if it reaches over 25 degrees Celsius, there's a possibility that those oils will emulsify and seep from the abdomen and go onto the wings. And because these blue butterflies, they don't have any pigments on the top side, those oils will no longer allow the light to refract, and it'll just turn brown, just like the color of the underside. So I always wanted to retain that blue iridescence, and that's why the standard in the industry is to have the abdomens removed. And there you have it. So that's finished, and you can see all of the different morphos that I have spread, and these guys, I can only fit 2 per spreading board because they're so massive, and that chewed up a lot of my spreading boards. And so I decided to stop here and allow this batch to dry. And once this has been fully dried, then it takes a couple hours to remove all the pins, because I want to make sure that nothing snaps or breaks while I'm removing the pins. And if there is antennae that get dislodged during the unpinning process, I will rapidly fix it to reattach the antenna back on. That way the specimen still retains its perfect appearance. And you can see unpinning them is much more quick in process than pinning it. That's why I've done a time-lapse video, and you can see how rapidly I can do it, and sometimes mistakes occur, but for the general part I actually have very low damage rate. At every step when I'm handling the specimens, there's a chance that the specimens can get damaged, so I have to be cognizant of everything that I'm doing at every step. So the gap between me taking the spreading board from each one and then removing the tracing paper, and then what I do is I take the specimens off the spreading board and put it on a big piece of foam board, and that way I can condense the amount of space that this entire process takes, because that's a lot of butterflies. Now you'll be able to see them all without the paper. Those little tiny blue ones are called Morphos, and they are from Brazil. I got them way back in 2003. And these other Morphos are from Peru. And these ones I've acquired. And you can see the color variation. The iridescence manifests itself in different levels of intensity. Some blues are not as rich as others. So these will all be framed up and ready and available on our website and at the next Red Deer Tattoo Show.